If you're shopping for a non-local brand 7-seater car, well, your choices are quite limited, especially since the Honda BR-V has now been discontinued in Malaysia. The good news is that the new Mitsubishi Xpander facelift has landed in Malaysia, although it's not quite what we were expecting. Let's see what it's all about. So this is a rather literal facelift for the Mitsubishi Xpander, as it gets a new set of headlights with a wider lower part. It's also a new grille with the plate now pushed down a bit lower. Fog lights are still halogen fog lights, although the piece connecting the two fog lights is now one single big hole instead of the old 4 holes. I would say that this is the advantage of having this 2-stage headlight design, so only adjusting the lower part gives the car an entirely new look. The Xpander now comes with a new set of 17-inch alloy wheels, which are now standard, and since this is the range-topping variant, the side sills get this silver-like finish, and it also gets a pretty big rear spoiler. At the back we get a new tail-light cluster design, and one thing missing here is the center rear fog light. If you've been following the news on the Mitsubishi Xpander with its debut in Indonesia and Thailand, you might be expecting it to get the new CVT, but that's not the case with the Malaysian-spec Xpander. We're still getting the same old 4-speed automatic transmission. The engine has also not yet received the new EGR system. So this engine still makes 105 metric horsepower and 141 Newton meters of torque. Power is still centered front wheels only via the good old 4-speed automatic gearbox. Now, I do quite like the new cabin design of the Mitsubishi Xpander. I think it looks a bit more sophisticated, and I do think that it feels a bit more zen, especially with this fake wood trim on the dashboard right here. And despite this new design, practicality levels are still the same. It still has this cubby space above the glove box for extra storage. The head unit is now better integrated. It looks more designed for the dashboard, and you also get a new set of HVAC controls, which is actually a manual control, but it does get a fancy digital display which makes it look a bit more futuristic. Another screen inside the Xpander would be its instrument cluster. It is a partially digital instrument cluster. Exclusive for the range-topping Xpander is the Around View monitor, which allows you to see all around the car. As for the base variant Xpander, well, it only comes with a reverse camera. I do wish that the Xpander, at least in its range-topping form, would come with powered seats, but no, it's still a manual seat even for the driver. But at least one new futuristic thing here is the EPB, which also comes with auto hold. Other than that, well, the Xpander gets Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. This front dashcam is a standard item, but the range-topping Xpander is the only one that gets a rear dashcam. Things are pretty much the same in the second row. These seats still slide forwards and backwards, as all 7-seaters should, and you do get a set of blowers right here which pull air from the front to the back. As for amenities, we now get a USB-A port, USB-C port, and what's new here are 2 cup holders on the armrest. As for the third row, well, I would say that with the second row seat up right here, space is quite alright, and you do get some amenities in here. On my side at least, I get a 12-volt socket, and on both sides you get cup holders. With the third row seats down in the Xpander, you get 495 litres of cargo space, but with all 7 seats in use, I'll admit the boot space isn't very impressive, although it does get one intelligent thing, which is the intelligent compartment underneath the boot floor. As for the tailgate, well, it is still a manual tailgate. So that's a new Mitsubishi Xpander facelift for you. A fresh new face at the front, but the powertrain is still the same. For more information on the car, head on to AutoBuzz.my.